Hi guys, welcome back to BattaBox. Thank you so much for being here today. So I've had a lot of my friends leave Nigeria and immigrated to the United Kingdom, and for me, it's kind of been very challenging to understand why people are moving to the UK. Now you might say, well, the country is hard and people have to leave Nigeria and go to a different country, and the UK is the country of choice. So this video, I'm going to be explaining to you why I think moving to the UK when compared to other countries may not be such a good idea. So one, it's the issue of the cost. Moving to the UK is very, very expensive. And my dad were talking millions and millions, upwards of 20 million naira, 15 million naira, 40 million naira, as one of my friends just recently spent in terms of visas, IHS, that's the insurance. Then you also have to pay for tuition, housing, accommodation, just super, super expensive. So for a normal person, you're going to ask yourself, why? Why are people moving to the UK in such drones? In 2022, Nigeria had the highest number of immigrants to the UK from Nigeria. So, and I just want to explain to you guys why. Of all the countries in the world, UK might be the worst place to move to. First and foremost is the housing. The UK currently have a housing crisis. In other words, there's a shortage of housing. Because of that, if you want to move to the UK as an immigrant, you may find it very difficult to find housing. You might find it difficult to find somewhere to live. And what that does is that puts an upward pressure on the rent. So rent, you're looking at paying £2,000, £15,000. If you're lucky, you might get something for £1,000. And you're talking like a small one-bedroom apartment. So housing is very, very expensive in the UK. And because of that, rent is high. And for someone who's coming to a new country, you don't want to pay too much on rent because it will eat a hole into your pocket very quickly. The other thing is also transportation. If you're outside London, the main city, and if you don't have access to the London Tube, transportation is very, very expensive in the UK. Moving from point A to point B will cost you a lot. Now, if you're someone who doesn't have a car and you're using all these cabs and taxis, which in other countries can be inexpensive. In the UK, just for a lift, you are paying £20 just for a very short ride. So transportation can be very, very expensive. Now, the big one, which I think is the elephant in the room, is the currency, the British pound. It is actually trading higher than a lot of other currencies. In some cases, the euros, pound is actually very expensive. So what that does is if you go to a new country and you want someone to send you money, if they send you $1,000, if you have something in the US, it might end up being like £700. So there's that currency exchange because the currency is very, very strong. That makes it harder for you to make more money when people send you money because whatever they send you will be less. And if you're moving as a first timer, that currency is something to take into factor, especially when you are trying to pay for things. It's just something that will affect you significantly. The big one is also taxes. The UK, because they don't make a lot of goods, they generate money as a service country. In other words, services are what they make money from. They don't really produce that much. They don't produce a lot, and what that means is more taxes. By taxes, I mean road taxes, council taxes, insurance taxes, sales tax, your car gets taxed, your road tax. I mean, it's just a lot of taxes, and they don't care if you are new or you're a foreigner or you're born there. They just make you pay taxes. Taxes is a big one. The food is also very expensive. Food, eating, and just eating out in general can be quite costly. So if you're someone who is moving to a place like the UK, you want to start asking yourself, like, why? Why am I going? If it's really expensive. Now, the other side of the coin is that those who are already in the UK, if you have family there, it's really hard for them to actually even have something as simple as a savings account. Because every money they earn and every money they collect, they end up spending all of it before the end of the pay cycle. Other things like petrol or gas, electricity, utilities, Wi-Fi, TV, internet bill, just it all adds up. It all adds up. I talked about taxes earlier. And what's really I find annoying to me is that in the UK, there's something called road tax. That means in order for you to park on the road, you have to pay taxes. You just can't park your car on the road. You know, like in Nigeria or in other parts of the world, like the US or Canada, you can park your car on the road. But in the UK, for you to park on the road, you have to pay. So even if you own the car as someone who's coming new and you have to have a car and you buy a car to drive around, you have to pay taxes for just parking. You have to pay no called MOT. and that's just the amount you pay every year to go and tell the government that your car is drivable. So every year they'll give you this piece of paper saying, okay, you can drive for 1 year. And that's another way of the UK government. That's how they raise money. So they are very creative and very lucrative in how they raise funds. So if you want to make money, or any government who's watching, the UK is a model for taxing people and making money, like any way possible. And that's when we talk about the toll tax, just for driving for using the freeway, you have to pay taxes. The big one for me, and that's kind of one that I still can't spin my head around, is just because the UK is there's a colonial country and they colonize a lot of people. There's this colonial master mentality, which makes things very difficult in the UK, and that is with regards to just paying fines. So, for example, if you get on a train and maybe you didn't pay enough fines, they can put you in jail, or they fine you £4,000. So you pick one or the other. There are cameras everywhere. So it's very, very strict, and it's a very, very difficult country for immigrants to live in. And you find out that those who even go after 18 months or 24 months or 12 months, once your program is ended, you can't not leave the country. You have to leave. Or you pay this another, £12,000 to continue to stay. There's no birth citizenship like other countries in the West. So it's they make you to leave after your stay. You just can't stay. You can't have a baby there and just like bring the baby back, the birth citizenship like other countries have. So all these factors make me question, like, why in the world are people going to the UK? Why are Nigerians going to the UK in drones and thousands and thousands? Such a Nigeria is the highest country of people living the country, emigrating into the UK. So I don't know why. I don't get it. I don't understand, given all the bills and all the water bill and electricity bill and the road tax, and how rude these British people can be to Nigerians. I think very, very rude. If you look on the internet, you find lots of situations whereby they target Nigerians. These are British citizens targeting Nigerians in Britain or in the UK. So I don't know why. Even after graduating, you still can't even get a job. Like, there are very, very few opportunities compared to other countries like Canada or New Zealand or Australia, not to mention the US. So this video is just to, number one, if you guys have any thoughts or comments, let me know. Why in the world are Nigerians going to the UK millions? I don't understand why. And secondly, those who are in the UK, this video is also to shed light on folks who are not in the UK but have family in the UK. So you guys can empathize with them and understand that the UK is not an easy country. It's a very, very difficult country. It's a very, very small country. They have lots of issues. There's racism in the UK. And even once you graduate or finish your program, which is what most Nigerians are going there for anyway, getting a job is very difficult. I have many, many friends who are leaving the UK and just going to other places after they've paid 40 million naira. Why not spend that 40 million naira and going to another country in the first place? Why must it be the UK? Like, I don't understand. Why not spend that 40 million naira and go through the Canadian Express Entry program, or try and apply for schools in the US, or try and go to New Zealand, or go to Australia, even Turkey? There are many places that people can go to that have better opportunities post your program. The UK is not one of them. So, guys, please feel free to leave a comment. I want to know why people are going to the UK. I want to know why Nigerians are actually going to the UK and spending millions of naira to go to the UK. And even living in the UK makes no sense at all. Like, it really makes no sense at all. So that's all I have. Please feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Please like this video if you find value in it. And don't forget to share it with someone who might find it useful. Thank you so much. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys. BattaBox.